This is not a bad
I
record.
just wanted to remind you.
Okay. Regular City Commission meeting to order for Wednesday, January 13th, 2018. Happy New Year, everyone. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Ide? Here. Commissioner Shaw?
Here.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Here.
Commissioner Mengelberg? Here. Mayor Holliday?
Here. So if you'll please rise and join me in flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have a minor change to the agenda tonight. At the first meeting of the City Commission every year, we have to elect a commission president for this year. So I'm going to move 7A up to where we are right now. And I would open nominations for commission president for 2018.
And I would like to nominate Commissioner Mengelberg.
It pays very well, too.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further nominations? Hearing none, close the nominations. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Mayor Holliday?
Aye.
Right.
Okay, so next up, we have the Honorable Judge McNeese to give the oath of office for the commission president.
Raise your hand and repeat after me. I, Renata Mengelberg,
I, Renata Mengelberg,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and the
States
state of Oregon,
and the state of Oregon,
along with the Oregon City Municipal Charter and Code.
along with the Oregon City Municipal Charter and Code.
I will, to the best of my ability,
I will, to the best of my ability,
faithfully perform the duties of Commission President
faithfully perform the duties of Commission President
of Oregon City
of Oregon City
during my incumbency thereof.
during my incumbency thereof.
Wow.
Thank you.
I think she broke that up into a lot more sentences than when we had to do it. So,
Well,
She takes into account attention span.
she works in Canby, you know.
Your defense.
Okay, great. So I guess I take one.
I got to put Brad Hanson when I can. So I'm going to do one other thing before we move on with the agenda. We have hired a new staff person for the City of Oregon City, our communications director, Kristen Brown, is that right?
that is correct.
So we'd like to welcome Kristen, if you'd stand up, and we'd like to, it's an exciting time for us because we haven't had a communications director before, and so this will be a good chance for us to be able to communicate directly with the citizens of Oregon City with a professional at the helm. So welcome to the City of Oregon City.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Looking forward to serving you guys and telling your story.
Did you have something, Tony? Or?
You know, just very glad to have Kristen here. It's her second day here, and so as our community communications coordinator, Kristen has over 10 years of community engagement and communication experience through events, marketing, campaigns, and public relations. She provided leadership and direction for the City of Round Rock, Texas Communication and Marketing Department, where she focused on transparent communication and citizen education through multiple communication platforms. So just really appreciate pretty excited, I agree, to have someone in that position. It's been a long time coming. Appreciate the commission funding the position, and just really look forward to hitting the ground running with Kristen here in Oregon City.
All right. Congratulations.
Okay, moving on to 3B, 17-683, Citizen Development Committee Annual Update. Ms. Turway.
Thank you. I'm pleased to introduce Amy Wilhite, the chair of our Citizen Involvement Committee.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. If I could just say ditto to last year, I probably would, but not quite. I'd like to read a small little quote out of The Art of Strategy. Get me started here. Those who do not know the positions of the mountains, forests, passes, and marshes are not able to move the force. Those who do not employ local guides are not able to affect the situation to advantage. And I think that little bit kind of sums up our year. As one of our main goals was to listen better, listen to the people, listen to each other, and really be able to hear what each other is saying and hear what the city is saying to us. Our goals were to work on our increasing public participation. I'm excited to have Kristen on board. I think that will help a lot. We wanted to increase knowledge about land use. That was something that's been supposedly we were supposed to be working on for years and years, and I think that this year we did a little bit more of that. And increasing knowledge about general city business by providing information that we hear at these meetings, at other meetings, presented to the CIC and taking them back to the neighborhoods. I think that we've done a good job of that this year. We've had some co-neighborhoods working together. We had neighborhoods that would have otherwise gone inactive, but chairs from neighboring neighborhoods took them on, and they're meeting together. We've had, in Tower Vista, we had actual leadership step up, but they still wanted to meet together as they're getting to learn the process. And I think we've done a good job of listening to each other and not just hearing the loud neighborhoods, because we have a lot of quiet neighborhoods that are just as big or even bigger than some of the loud neighborhoods. So it's been really nice to do that. We went to National Night Out. That's always a fun thing to do, to get the word out. It's still amazing, no matter how many people you run into, they say, well, I'm not part of that homeowners association. So we still the never-ending challenge of getting the word out of what a neighborhood is. So I think we've really talked about that, trying to just anytime that opportunity comes, just get the word out. We have adopted some more goals for this year, working towards encouraging the public participation. And one of the things that we had to do this year was hear a grievance, and I hear we have more coming up on the docket. And that's a learning process. I hope that we can learn from our last hearing and have a little bit better of a, and I would like more guidance from the leadership in that role. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what the CIC is and what it stands for and what it should be, and there's some confusion of where grievances should go. So I think we have some more things to work on this year. We had a lot of presentations from different members of the different departments, and we really appreciated that. It was great to learn a lot about land use. It was great to hear about the things that are going on in the city, and the public loves to know that. They just like to know the little nitty-gritty things that they wouldn't know about otherwise, because we can't all watch the meetings. We don't all read the newspapers, if they're even in there. We can't navigate the humongous city website. It's just not possible. And so getting the word out as things come up is really important, and the public loves that. They love to hear the little things going on, just from illumination of the tunnel and the road's going to be closed. They can feel part of that by learning from the different departments and what's happening. So for this next year, I hope that we can continue to work on our public involvement plan. We were continuing to increase our knowledge about land use, working on reviewing the grievance process, and see if there's any code changes that need to be made for that. And better understanding our roles as CIC members and how that works interacting with the city. We're going to try to provide a little bit more training for CIC members so that they don't come and the first, like, well, if I came the first 6 meetings or so, you're just, what's a motion? What do you mean, what? Second, what? You know, little things that, and just getting back, reminding them that it's not important enough just to show up, but they need to make sure and take that information back and really listen. So thank you.
Questions?
Thank you.
I think Mr. Conkle and I have been attending the CIC meetings and stuff, and I just want to congratulate you for turning it around from what it was, and so I hope you see that your efforts have, you know, they haven't gone unnoticed. So thank you for stepping in there and doing that, Amy. So, but it all seems worthwhile because we'll have, somebody like from the fire department or something come in and do a presentation at CIC. Next thing you know, the CIC members are having them at their neighborhood meetings and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So you're getting more participation out in the neighborhoods because of your efforts there. So.
Well, for example, there was brought up at our last meeting about concerns that we're having with people at the Bluff, I call it. I don't know, everybody calls it something different.
Cross.
I've grown it up calling it the Bluff. And it was brought up at 3 different neighborhood meetings. And so when Rivercrest, which is where it actually lives, the Bluff, then we could say, hey, we had that same concern. We shared it with our police liaison. And so it was great to have just what you're saying, to have reinforcement from your neighbors.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
And I wanted to say that at the beginning of my term, we started off a little bit rocky. But
Mother Bear, huh?
But, we're able to put that behind us, and I think you've done a great job as chair, and I look forward to you continuing that role in 2018. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add, really appreciate, working with you. And I really appreciate how you run your meetings. I think you're thoughtful, generous with your time, listen to what folks are saying, and I also appreciate the interaction with staff. I think that it's helped with the transition with the CIC and trying to make it into a stronger committee each and every month. So just want to say thanks for all the effort. It's really appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have the commission appointments for 2018. I'm going to make a couple of minor adjustments. I'm going to appoint myself again to the Metro Policy Advisory Committee unless someone is desperately wanting to take on that role. I've made one meeting. It's a morning kind of deal, and I'm not sure we have a whole lot of influence at Metro on that committee. So hearing nobody clamoring for that, I'll move on to South Fork Water Board. Appoint myself and Commissioner Brian Shaw and Commissioner Frank O'Donnell for 2018. Clackamas County Coordinating Committee, Mayor Dan Holliday. Alternate is Commissioner Ronald Mingberg, and we're going to leave the C4 subcommittee vacant at this time. Downtown Oregon City Association Board, Commissioner Nancy Ide. Lemp Falls Heritage Area Coalition. Are we going to continue in this same path, Mr. Underwood?
I have trouble making those meetings due to Lemp Falls Legacy TAC meetings.
Commissioner Ide, do you want to step up to the...
I was unaware of that, but yeah, I could do that. 'Cause
Okay.
I think I've been to one.
So I'll appoint Commissioner Nancy Ide as the representative, and we'll leave Mr. Underwood as the alternate. The Willamette Falls Legacy Project Liaison, I'm appointing myself and once again Commissioner Mengelberg. Clackamas Heritage Partners, Commissioner Nancy Ide. Citizen Involvement Committee Commission Liaison, Commissioner Brian Shaw. Brownfield Grant Committee, Commissioner Ronald Mengelberg. Oregon City Alternative Mobility Targets Community Advisory Group, there's a mouthful, Commissioner Mengelberg. And Willamette Falls Locks State Commission, I'm appointing myself, but have yet to receive the actual appointment from Governor Brown. So we're anticipating those appointments coming sometime in the next couple of weeks. I'll move on to the appointments to city boards and commissions. And before I make these appointments, I will say, generally speaking, I take the recommendations of either the boards or commissions or the neighborhood associations. I have one firm policy that I adhere to, and that is I will not appoint anyone who is currently in litigation with the city. So in that respect, both Cameron McCready and Ed Lindquist were denied appointments at this time. Mr. Lindquist was an alternate to the Citizen Involvement Committee, and Mr. McCready was the chamber representative to the recommendation for the HRB, the Historic Review Board. There we go. So moving on, reappointment of Ken Basinger, the at-large position, and Claire Met, McLaughlin neighborhood resident, to the Historic Review Board for a 3-year term of January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2020. reappointment of John Anderson, and appointment of Mike Mitchell to the Transportation Advisory Committee for a 3-year term of January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2020. Reappointment of Doug Neely and appointment of Karen Morey and Troy Bollinger to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for a 3-year term, January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2020. Appointment of William Gifford to the Enhancement Grant Committee for a 4-year term of January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2021. Appointment of Larry Osborne and Nick Dirkman to the Library Board for a 4-year term of January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2021. Reappointment of Nancy Broshott, Trent Warness, and Doug Neely to the Natural Resources Committee for a 3-year term of January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2020. Reappointment of Timothy Christopher to the Budget Committee for a 4-year term of January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2021. And reappointment of Bob Mahoney to the Planning Commission, serving from January 2018 to March 21st, 2020. And those are the appointments for 2018. So now we are at citizen comment. Do we have, why do they not show up on my machine? There we go. Mr. Gifford.
Mr. Mayor, good morning. Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners, my name is William Gifford. I live in Oregon City. Happy New Year to y'all. It's just a little more rah-rah Oregon City for me again. I wanted to give some kudos to David Knoll and Katie Riggs. David Knoll from our, whatever.
Information technology.
IT, the IT guy. And he and our city recorder came to the Hillendale Neighborhood Association joint meeting with the Tower Vista Neighborhood Association meeting last night. And it was very informative. I mean, I thought that I knew a lot about the website, but they gave a very in-depth presentation on how that city website works. It is just such a treasure trove of information. And Ms. Riggs was dutifully taking notes, and it was a very good presentation, and I just salute them for coming out to our neighborhood association. Also, I had a little brief business today at City Hall, and came in the front desk, and the gal at the front desk, I believe her name is Diana, said, "Hello, Mr. Gifford," and you know that doesn't sound like much, but it really, it's a little hometown feel, you know. I still think that we're still a small town. The fact that we can call each other by name, it's a nice feeling, and I appreciate our staff and you guys for all the work that you're doing to make this a better city.
Well, you practically have an office here.
Say what?
Thank you, Will.
Mr. Ide?
Yeah, I just had a question about Bob Mahoney's reappointment to the Planning Commission. It says from January 1st, 2017 to March 21st, 2020, and it just was kind of unusual, and I was curious about that.
Ms. Riggs, do you want to explain?
Yeah, do you want me to, or do you want to, Laura? So Bob Mahoney will be butting up against his term limit. And so he came in to fill a vacancy in a previous term. And so there is a term limit on the Planning Commission, and so he'll be coming up against that. And so at that point, we'll need to make a new appointment.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing no other citizen comments, everybody okay with the agenda?
Yep.
We have no public hearings under general business. Didn't I appoint the Urban Renewal Commission? Oh, is this the commission?
This is, we have one opening for an Urban Renewal Commission member. It was Mike Mitchell's position. It expired at the end of 2017. And so we received one application, and that was Mike Mitchell. You can choose to either appoint Mike Mitchell or reappoint him to the
I'm going to
Urban Renewal
reappoint
Commission.
Mike Mitchell to the Urban Renewal Commission for the term that's set forth.
So we need to do
Doesn't that require a vote?
Oh,
Yes,
that's right.
sorry,
The
that's why
bylaws
it's
are
on
posted.
general business, yes.
I apologize. Is there a motion?
Move to approve Mike Mitchell appoint Mike Mitchell to the Urban Renewal Commission for 2018.
Yeah,
Second.
4-year term.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Mayor Holliday?
Aye. We're up to PC 17-162, second reading ordinance 18-1002, and planning files AN 17-03, ZC 17-03, and TP 17-07 for annexation, zone change in the subdivision on Leland Road. Ms. Turway.
Thank you very much. Carrie Rector will ask you your disclosures.
The record is closed on this. We had the first reading of the ordinance at our last meeting. Since that last meeting, I need to ask, has any commissioner had any ex parte contacts, conflicts of interest, bias, or any other statement to declare?
No.
No.
Has any commissioner visited the site since the last meeting?
Not since the last.
No.
Does anyone in the audience wish to question a commissioner about these representations?
No.
Seeing none, you may proceed.
I'm here to answer any questions with that you have. With that, we recommend approval of the second reading.
Move to approve the second reading of PC 17-162 of ordinance number 18-1002 and planning files AN 17-03, ZC 17-03, and TP 1707 for annexation, zone change, and subdivision Leland Road.
With conditions.
With conditions.
Second.
Further discussion? Mr. Richter, sorry.
It's okay. Ordinance number 18-1002, an ordinance of the City of Oregon City approving an annexation, amending Title 17 zoning, Chapter 17.06.020, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Oregon City Municipal Code from FU10, future urban 10 acres, to R6 single-family dwelling district, and approving a 28-lot subdivision for 6.33 acres of property identified as Clackamas County Map 32E18, tax lot 1400.
Further discussion?
No.
Call roll, please.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Mayor Holliday?
Aye. Anybody want to pull anything off the consent agenda?
I would like to revisit 8B, please.
All right. So we're going to pull 8B off the agenda. That's 17-651, Resolution 18-02, modifying park special event and shelter rates. Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. Resolution 18-02, my computer just crashed on me, so I'll try to read this. The special events rates and shelter rates resolution is memorializing the conversation that we had at the work session last month. During that conversation, we discussed the special event rates coming more in line with other jurisdictions in the area, as well as more equally reflecting the staff time and commitment to maintain the parks and facilities that we must maintain. Additionally, we requested from the commission the ability to assess a inflationary rate of 3% per year moving forward, as well as the ability of the city manager to set the rates of any new facilities that come on board based on the amenities and size of the facilities as reflected in the current rate schedule.
Okay. So one question, I just wanted to kind of reaffirm this, Mr. Lewis, was there's no nonprofit exemption on this at all, is there?
There currently is not. We have not had a nonprofit exemption. It's my understanding that we will be discussing at the City Commission retreat later this month how the city interacts with nonprofits as it relates to facilities.
All right. And so any of the activities that happen on Main Street, are they also having to follow the new guidelines?
These guidelines are only for park facilities,
So not
for
the Main Street
any
doesn't-
events
okay.
on Main Street.
Main Street comes under Mr. Lewis's purview.
Okay. All right, good, thanks, that's what I want.
So can we knock that back under the consent agenda?
Yes.
All right. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
For discussion, call roll, please.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Ide?
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Aye.
Mayor Holliday?
Aye. On communications, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Evening, Commissioners. First, I have an update from Mr. John Lewis about some work on Beaver Creek Road.
Just a reminder that we just started construction of the sewer extension project that extends along Beaver Creek Road from Marjorie Lane past the community college out. We'll eventually reconnect the high school line, so there'll be a large diameter pipeline there that will help facilitate development potential in the Beaver Creek concept area. That work, for the most part, is at night, and we did that so that we could avoid the delays that would be created with daytime traffic. So they're flagging traffic in each direction, but a lot of night work. Hopefully, we've been doing a good job with our, probably not good enough job. We probably need to do a better job, but I think we're doing a pretty good job with getting the word out on that project. So folks should know in the neighborhood that we're going to be working and doing things like saw cutting. I was out there last night and this morning just to kind of get a sense of how it felt. And it's a big enough space. It's really not too bad. So noise-wise, I mean. That's an 84 days project, so hopefully they'll get it done under the 84 days.
Okay. Next, I have an update from Ms. Turway.
Thank you very much. As you know, we are excited to implement a new computer system, which will bring us a lot of staff efficiencies and a lot of transparency through departments and then also to our customers for permitting. And this permitting system we are working on now until June when we're expected to go live. In order to facilitate this implementation, the Planning, Building, and Development Services Office will be closed on Monday, January 8th until 1 p.m. Inspections will occur as normal. We just won't have anyone there in those offices, so we'll be closed for a little over 4 hours.
That concludes my updates for tonight.
Okay. Commissioner Wright, you got anything for us?
No, just a lot of meetings and discussions regarding the homeless coalition in Oregon City. That's all.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Nothing in particular, no.
No, sir. No, sir.
You guys are being quiet tonight. So I only have a couple things. As some or most of you may know, we had a kind of an interesting traffic accident on Singer Hill on, was it Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Lady going down Singer Hill, hit the ice, went over just past the falls on the left and rolled down into that canyon. A tree saved her from actually rolling onto the railroad tracks. But it's just a reminder that even the great work that Public Works and Mark Montalvo and John Lewis do on keeping our roads safe during events, if you don't absolutely have to go out when it's snowing and freezing and icy, stay home. It's much better for everybody. I was there the next morning when Bud's Towing and their crane came in and they sent a line down and actually lifted the car up over the top of the power lines and dropped it right down on the flatbed trailer. I think there's a video on it on Facebook or someplace somewhere if you want to see that. And then I continue to get kudos for the commission's decision to put the median in at 10th Street across from Dutch Brothers. I've heard almost zero negative comments, and people are really happy that we've managed to fix that bottleneck there. So
You haven't heard from the West Linn people, have you?
Well, I'm not West Lynn's mayor, so I would direct them to Russ Axelrod if they were to call me. So unless there's something else for the good of the order, we're adjourned.
Wow.